Good afternoon, students. So in this class, we look at a simple problem, and we'll see how we can arrive at the solution to that problem using the Schrodinger, or how can we formulate a simple problem in terms of quantum chemistry or quantum mechanics. Okay. So the problem that we are going to see today is called as particle in a box. Okay, so particle in a box. So it is right here to say space, a simple application of Schrodinger wave equation which can be related to the translational motion of a particle. Okay, particle here I mean electron. Okay, so what do you mean by this is that we always say that when you have a system, so when you have a system which is in a ground state, okay, you give some energy to the system. So you give some energy to the system will go to some excited state. So basically what happens is that you are in a ground state and this is the excited state. So you give some light energy, right? So there are, let's say there are two electrons here. So one moves from here to here. So you have, so this is your excited state now, this is your ground state. Okay. So how do we define a problem? So what do you mean by particle in a one-dimensional box? So that means there is a single particle of mass m confined to a one-dimensional axis. Okay, so for the sake of convenience, we'll take this as the x-axis. For the sake of convenience, we'll take it as the x-axis. Okay, so we assume that the particle can move along the x-axis, and we say that, so by confinement what we mean is that we say that it is restricted between two endpoints. Let's say that the endpoints are x equal to 0 and x equal to L. So the complete length of the box becomes L. Okay, so if you have to restrict something to a defined range, so what you have to do is that you have to make sure that there are very high barriers. Okay, there are very high barriers here. Okay, so you place some very high barriers. So you place some very high barriers on either side. Okay, so there are very high barriers. Okay, so there are very high barriers. So what happens is, when a particle is here, okay, it goes in this direction. Since there is a very high barrier here, it reflects back. And again when it goes here, okay, there is a very high barrier, again it reflects. So the particle is always moving between, is confined to this particular range where x equal to 0 and x equal to L. Okay, so how do you frame this problem is as follows. So we say that this is equivalent. So this is equivalent to saying that the potential energy which is dependent on x. Okay, so we'll say that, let's say the potential is, so this is your potential energy, is represented by E, will have so V is a function of distance. V is a function of distance. So you have two conditions here. So V equal to 0. Okay, so the potential energy is 0 when the values of x is less than or equal to, is greater than 0, and it is less than or equal to L, and it is infinity otherwise. So when x is less than 0 and when x is greater than L, the potential is infinite. Okay, so how do you link this? So you can just link this to, let's say that, let's take case 1. Okay, let's say that let's say that this is some hump of say 5 centimeter, not 5 centimeter, maybe say some 2 centimeter. Okay, and if you roll a marble here, okay, marble means local language we say goli, right? Okay, so marble. Okay, and let's say case 2. Right? So let's say that this height. Okay, so let's say that this height. Okay, let's say there is a compound wall. Okay, let's say there is a compound wall. Let's say there is a compound wall somewhere, something here. Okay, so in case 1, so you roll the same marble with the same energy. You both have the same potential energy. So you push the marble with the same force. So what happens in case 1? In case 1 is that the marble will cross this barrier, because this is just 2 centimeters. So it will just cross and it will just roll over, and the marble will be found here. Whereas in the second case, the marble will go hit the wall, and it is very likely that it won't cross this barrier. Okay, it cannot do this. Because the wall is so high. No matter what energy you give, practically whatever energy you give, it is not going to go up. So it has to come back. Okay, so that's case 2. So why this happens? Because here we say that the potential energy here is very high. We say that the potential energy here is very high, whereas the potential energy here is not that high. Okay, is not very high. So it can cross this barrier. Okay, so that's what it means. Define this problem. Okay, like this. So here is your x-axis. Here is your x-axis. Okay, so here is your x-axis. So this is your x equal to 0. This is when x equal to L, and the length of the box is L, and outside it is infinity, and here v equal to 0, whereas here v equal to infinity, v equal to infinity. Okay, so the particle is confined within this range of x equal to 0 and x equal to L. Now we know that, okay, the Schrodinger equation, so we can write the Schrodinger equation as follows. Okay, in a one dimensional case, we write the Schrodinger equation as minus h square by 2m psi of x plus v of x psi of x equal to e psi of x. So this is how we write the Schrodinger equation. Okay. Now we said that since potential energy inside the box, so potential energy inside the box okay, is 0, so we say that Vx is equal to 0. So you can rewrite this equation 1 as minus h square by 2m psi of x plus psi of x equal to e psi of x. Or this psi x will go. Okay, so we'll only have this term. So there is a condition. When this is satisfied, when x is confined to this range. Okay, only then this you can write this equation. Let's say this is 2. Let's say this is 2. Now what we will do is we'll multiply equation 2 with minus 2m by h cross square. We'll multiply equation 2 with minus 2m h cross square. So this will give you psi of x equal to minus h cross by 2m e of psi of x. Okay. Now if you bring this right hand side to the left hand side, so if you bring this to this side, okay, to left hand side, so you will have psi of x plus h cross by 2m e psi of x equal to 0. Sorry. I did something wrong here, right? Yeah. So if I multiply this with minus 2m by h cross square, it will be so psi of x equal to 2m by h cross e of psi of x. So this will give you, okay, so this will give you psi of x plus 2me by h cross square psi of x equal to 0. So let's say this is equation. Now what we'll do is we'll just say k square, we'll just make a substitution for this. So we'll just say k square equal to 2me by h cross square. So k square equal to 2me by h cross square. So the equation 3 will turn out to be psi of x plus k square psi of x equal to 0. Let's call this as equation 4. Okay. So the general solution. So a general solution for a second order differential equation, like that in 4. Okay, like 4 is given as psi of x equal to a sine of kx plus b cos of kx. Okay, so let's call this as 5. Now a and b are constants, so we have to find what that is. So we don't know what that is, what the value of b and a, we don't know. Okay, so to determine their values, we make use of boundary conditions. Boundary conditions means, what is that? Like we are restricting it to be within x equal to 0, x equal to L, right? So that is why it is called boundary. Okay, so it's called boundary conditions. Okay, right. Now what is this boundary condition? What it is saying? So let's say, so we said that the particle cannot be found. Okay, the particle cannot be found at x less than 0 and at x greater than a. That means when psi of x, that is if we put x equal to 0, okay, if you put x equal to 0, this should be 0. So there is no, the particle cannot be found. So at that boundary, the wave cannot be found. The particle is not found, so the wave cannot also cannot be found. Okay, so at that point the wave is not there. In a similar way, psi of x when x equal to L, okay, so psi of L will always be equal to 0. So we will make use of both these conditions to find A and B. So we will make use of both. Okay. Now let's put the first boundary condition. Okay, let's put the first boundary condition, which is, so we'll write the same equation, psi of x equal to a sin kx plus b cos of kx, which is same as, I think which is same as equation 5, which is same as equation 5. So this is equation 5. So we'll say psi of 0 when x equal to 0. Okay, psi of 0 when x equal to 0. So what you will do, just substitute express. So we have psi of 0 equal to a sin of k of 0 plus b cos of k of 0. So this will be, so we know that psi of 0 is 0, so 0 equal to a sin of 0 is 0, so this will be 0 plus b cos 0 is 1. Okay, cos 0 is 1, so cos 0 is equal to 1. So this will be b, which implies that the value of this constant b is equal to 0. So which implies that the value of this constant b is 0. Let's put this as equation 8. Now we will apply the second boundary condition, which is psi of L. Okay, that means when x equal to L, we have psi of L equal to a sin of KL plus, so this is 0, so we are ignoring this term. Okay, since b is 0, this term vanishes. So this also means 0 equal to a sin KL. So what this means is that for some values of KL, okay, so this is possible. So this is possible. Let's call this as say 7. Okay, let's call this as 9. Okay, so this equation is satisfied. Equation 9 is satisfied when a equal to 0. Okay, this can be satisfied when case 1 a equal to 0, which means that there is no way. So which implies that a is also equal to 0 and b is also equal to 0. If you put both a and b as 0, if you put a and b at 0 in equation 5, we see that there is no wave. So there is no wave. So there is no wave. So this is a very trivial solution. So this is a trivial solution. So we reject the solution. So what we do, we reject the solution. Okay, in quantum mechanics there are several solutions, but usually solutions which are not acceptable are generally ignored. The second thing is, we know that sine of 0 is 0. We know sine of 180 is 0, sine of 360 is 0, sine of 540 equal to 0, and so on. So which we can write it as sine of 0 equal to 0 or sine of 1 that is we will write this as 0 pi. Okay, we can write this as 0 pi. Sine of 0 pi equal to 0. So let me write it as sine of 0 pi equal to 0. 0 pi means 0 into pi. Sine of 1 pi equal to 0. Sine of 2 pi equal to 0. Sine of 3 pi equal to 0, and so on. That means we can say that this condition can be satisfied. Equation 9 can be satisfied if the term KL equal to n pi. When this term KL equal to n pi, right? So this term and KL equal to n pi. Now, which implies that K equal to n pi by L. K equal to n pi by L. Now if we remember, we made a substitution here, right? I mean, we made a substitution here. K square equal to 2n e the whole square. So we'll apply, so we'll substitute K in this equation. So what we'll do is, we'll say 4m square e square by so what we'll do is, we'll say n square pi square by L square equal to 2m e by h cross square. Okay. So from this, if we rearrange, we get e equal to n square h cross square pi square by 2m n square. Now we know that h cross equal to h by 2 pi. So if you substitute this here, so we get e equal to n square h square pi square by 2m. So this is 2 pi, h by 2 pi, right? So we are substituting this by 2 pi 2 pi square L square. So if you just remove, if you just make a substitution, it will be n square h square pi square by 2m into 4 pi square L square. So this pi square and pi square will go. So you will end up with a term for equation which is n square h square by 8m L square. Okay.